Hello everyone. We have a wonderful guest with us today. He is a 3-time Grammy Award winning musician and an environmentalist. He is also a Goodwill Ambassador of the United Nations. He has now recorded the Indian National Anthem with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in London. We have with us none other than Ricky Cage. Tell us how this thought of performing the national anthem occurred to you.
So the national anthem is something, it's a piece of music that was the first piece of music that I ever learned, as a musician, and first piece of music that I ever listened to as a child, even before I learned any nursery rhymes or before I learned any, lullabies. So it's a song which I've always had within me. And at the same time, I performed with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra many times in the past. And it's a beautiful orchestra. It's a massive, amazing British orchestra. So I thought, why not bring both these worlds together and create the most epic version of the national anthem. So I approached the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. They were very glad to record. So it took about 3 months of preparation. We came up with the entire structure of what the song is going to sound like. And then I went to London at Abbey Road Studios, which is their most legendary studios, and I recorded with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. So it's the largest orchestra to have ever recorded the Indian National Anthem.
Okay, so how was that experience for you, recording with them?
The experience was, of course, fantastic because standing in that room, conducting the orchestra, listening to 100 musicians play the Indian National Anthem, it was absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, there was an added advantage also that, the British have ruled us for 200 years and, and getting an Indian composer to actually lead them and conduct them to perform the Indian National Anthem, that was quite amazing.
Okay, so you have been working with Stewart Copeland and you both won a Grammy. Both blend so well. So how does that experience?
So Stewart Copeland is an absolute legend. He has won 7 Grammy Awards. 75 million copies of his albums have been sold. He's made 50 Hollywood movie soundtracks. He's considered to be the greatest drummer in the history of music. So I grew up, with posters of him on my wall. I was a huge fan of his, and I grew up listening to his music. So during the pandemic, in 2020, I was starting to make a new album. And I wanted to collaborate with somebody really amazing. So I thought, why not check with Stewart Copeland and see whether he would be interested. So I got in touch with him and I thought, what's the worst that will happen? He'll just say no. But then in about 3 to 4 weeks, he got back and he said that he loved the music and he said he would love to collaborate with me. And then we created this album together, and that's how Divine Tides happened.
You said you worked with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. So did you suggest that idea of the national anthem to them, or did they approach you?
No, it was me.
Okay.
So I wanted to do an epic version of the national anthem, as I mentioned, and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra is my favorite orchestra in the world. I've collaborated with them multiple times in the past, but I've also collaborated with other orchestras too, many times. But the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra is an orchestra that I keep coming back to because they are amazing. They're very, very professional. They performed on some of the biggest movie soundtracks. They performed with some of the greatest conductors, greatest composers. So they are an amazing orchestra, and I thought that they would be the best people to actually bring this national anthem alive through this major, big, epic rendition.
How many rehearsals you had to do the national anthem in just 52 seconds, combining all this orchestra?
So that's the thing. It was 3 months of planning, where because there are 100 musicians, so each musician needs to know what to play.
Yeah.
So we have to write down everything on a sheet of paper and give them all their parts, and everything has to come in harmony beautifully together. So that took about 3 months to do, but the recording was just about 45 minutes, that's it. Because it's a 1-minute piece, we did about 4 or 5 rehearsals, everything came out right. We recorded it another 4 or 5 times, and that's it, and it was done, because they're such professional musicians. If it was any other orchestra, it could have taken a full day. We had to make sure that the anthem sounds as epic as possible, and at the same time, at some points the entire orchestra is playing together. Sometimes we bring it down to just a few instruments so that there is a dynamic range, there are ups and downs. So that was the challenge of how to create these ups and downs. There are so many different personalities in an orchestra, there's so many different instruments in an orchestra, but when you listen to the whole thing, everything sounds amazing.
Tell us about the emotional bliss you felt after recording and after hearing it, our own national anthem there. So how did you feel after that?
So in the ending of the anthem, we have all the British choir members in the orchestra, the singers singing Jaya He, Jaya He. That gave me goosebumps, because like listening to them singing, listening to the British singing Jaya He, Jaya He after having ruled us for 200 years. Because our British-Indian relationships have never been better than what it is today, right? But for me, I wanted to showcase a beautiful partnership between Britain and India.
And through the national anthem, what's your idea of conveying through the national anthem now they recorded?
So I wanted to create the most definitive version of the national anthem. So the idea is that we've not used any corporate money. It's completely 100% self-funded. There is no entity involved. There is no permissions we have to take. So what I'm doing is that I'm gifting this to Indians everywhere in the world, that you can use it for whatever purposes you want, even without my permission. Use it wherever you want, in your events, in your social media. If you want to put it in your films, you want to put it in wherever, whether commercial or non-commercial use it for whatever you want. There is no monetary, I do not want any money, I do not want any royalties, just spread it far and wide so that everybody uses this version of the national anthem, because it's a very respectful version of the national anthem. So I think this is what a new India is all about, that that a British orchestra performing the Indian national anthem is basically a new India.
You have always said you're an environmentalist, and in your music you want to imbibe that. So about that, sir.
So I've always been two things in my life. I've been an environmentalist and I've been a musician. And then, both these worlds came together, so now the only kind of music that I make is about the environment or positive social impact around those areas, because I believe that music is a very, very good way to communicate a message to an audience. Like we are talking about national anthems. Every country has got a national anthem. Why do they have a national anthem? Because music brings the country together. Like the minute you listen to the first few notes of the national anthem, it does not matter who you are, which geographic location you come from in India, or you're living abroad also as an Indian, immediately you'll have a sense of pride of being an Indian. And that's what music does. Music brings people together. And so that is what. So basically, when it comes to giving a very strong message about taking care of our environment, taking care of Mother Nature, mitigating the effects of climate change, reducing our consumption of single-use plastics, reducing air pollution, music is a very, very good way to communicate all of these issues and to also celebrate our beautiful planet.
What's the difficulty you faced while recording this national anthem, sir?
Actually, there was no difficulty, because the thing is that everybody collaborated beautifully. I think probably the only difficulty was the flight to Britain, that's all. That took a very long time and I did not get any sleep on the flight. But otherwise, I think everything was fine. I think it was a pretty enjoyable experience.
So now it's being released on the before Independence Day, and how do you feel any tension or kind of?
No, I just wanted to, the tension would be there if there is some expectation in return. That I'm expecting to make a lot of money, I'm expecting to sell it, or that kind of a thing, or I'm expecting to get box office returns in the first day. So that tension is not there. I'm just hoping and praying that that as many people listen to it and as many people share it and people feel proud of our country when they listen to it. So we're releasing it on the 14th of August at 5 p.m. as you know, and just a little bit before Independence Day, so that on Independence Day everybody have the opportunity to share it.
So coming to the Grammy Awards, so you won 3 Grammy Awards and you're representing our country on such a big stage. So how does that feel?
So obviously it feels amazing. So one should not work for awards, that's very important. But when awards happen, we should be very grateful for it. So my music is all about a purpose, as we mentioned, positive social impact, environment, refugees, children's rights, various topics. So I believe that awards always gives you a platform for doing bigger and better things. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't care about awards and all of that stuff. Even me, I do not make music to win awards. But when I win an award, I'm very, very happy and very grateful. simply because every award gives you a platform for more and more people to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Like before my first Grammy Award in 2015, some people would take me seriously, some people would not take me seriously. Some people would take my message on the environment seriously, some people would not.
Yeah.
But after I won that Grammy Award, more people started taking me seriously. Then second award, more people. Third award, more people. So that's the idea.
You earlier said in an interview that you have been working in a Malayalam film.
Yes.
And about that.
I completely forgot. We should have talked about that. So I just finished a Malayalam film called Adrisha Jalakangal. It's with Tomino Thomas and directed by Dr. Biju Nair. Biju Kumar, sorry. And Dr. Biju Kumar is a two-time National Award winning director, fantastic director. And he narrated this script to me last year. It's an anti-war movie, but shot beautifully. And beautiful narrative, very good perspective about how when there is war, the people, the rich people and the privileged people are the ones who make all the decisions, but the people who suffer are the poor people. So it's a beautiful film. And Tovino, I don't think anybody would have seen him in this avatar, you know. He has acted so well and his look is so different from what it is normally. And Namisha also is the actress. She's done a fabulous job. So it's a very, very good movie, and I hope that, I think it's going to be releasing around October. And I hope everybody watch it because it's going to cut across languages. This is one of those films which has got very, very little dialogue. It's mainly music throughout the film. So I'm very excited about this film, and it's got a very strong social message.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.